Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to my 3 takeaways episode from the interview that I did with Mitch Gaylord this past Monday. First off, if you have the opportunity and the chance to learn from somebody who was in the best in the entire world, the entire world at something that they did, then that's powerful in and of itself. But I really hope you guys loved Mitch's vulnerability and openness about the self-limiting beliefs and the self-doubts that he had, because he kept coming back to those throughout his career and trying to break mental hurdle after mental hurdle is what allowed him to get to that next level of success. But I don't want to go too far into that yet, because that's going to have a big role in my 3 takeaways. But if you haven't listened to the episode yet, guys, you're missing out. You've got to go listen to the 1984 gold medalist with the U.S. men's gymnastics team, Mitch Gaylord. He's got some powerful stuff from his experiences and some great stories that you'll want to hear. Takeaway number 1 is it's about how you deal with it. And this goes right into what I was just talking about with self-limiting beliefs and self-doubt, because I asked him the question, how do you deal with those things, or how do you eliminate those things? And then I kind of caught myself. I was like, I don't know if we're ever able to eliminate those self-limiting doubts and self-limiting beliefs. I think they're always going to show up. So it's not about eliminating it, but it's about how you deal with it. And Mitch said success is right on the other side of self-doubt. It's inevitable that when you're moving up in your career, when you're moving up to that success ladder, that you're going to kind of question yourself whether or not you're worthy of that level of success, of that level of pay, of that level of responsibility. But if you just continue to persist forward, then success is right on the other side of that. And Mitch is a perfect example of that, because he had so many mental hurdles that he had to break through. And then he ended up winning a gold medal, a silver, and a couple bronze medals at the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. Takeaway number 2 is saying it doesn't make it true. I love it when Mitch brought this up, because he said that there was a moment in his career when he was like, I'm never going to let these mental hurdles or these self-limiting beliefs and self-doubts hold me back from achieving the level of success that I want to achieve. But just saying it isn't going to actually make it happen. He's actually got to be diligent and intentional about trying to find a way to work through those things. And I feel like we all have those in different ways in our lives. Like, for example, if you're saying that you want to cut out sweets, for example, just saying you want to cut out sweets isn't going to actually do it. Maybe you're not trying to cut out sweets, whatever it is in your life. Just saying it isn't going to actually make it happen. You have to be diligent and intentional about creating action steps to create a higher sense of belief that you can actually do it yourself. And when you create action steps and something that's measurable, something that you know the start and the finish to, you're much more likely to actually follow through with doing it. So let's take the example of cutting out sweets. You can't just say I'm going to cut out sweets, but if you create an actionable plan, like say I'm going to have 3 sweets a week for the first 3 weeks. Then I'm going to have 2 sweets for the next 3 weeks. 1 sweet a week for the next 3 weeks. That's just something I'm making up off the top of my head. But if you just create an actionable plan, you've got to be diligent. You can't just expect that saying it is actually going to make it come true. Takeaway number 3 is your weaknesses don't have to be permanent. When Mitch was talking about how he had to work on his weaknesses to actually achieve the gold medal, I literally went right to Scott Hamilton, episode number 4. And because they both talked about how that was the one thing that held them back. There was one thing in their sport that they just didn't want to do, they found boring, that they just never really worked on. But that was the actual thing that they had to just nail down. They had to work on tirelessly to be able to achieve the level of success that they wanted to achieve and that they ended up having, with both being gold medalists in the Olympics. And with Mitch, he found it in compulsories were his weakness, and also with the high bars. And he worked on it. And then he ended up winning the silver medal in high bars. He talked about how your weaknesses don't always have to be your weakness. You can actually flip it on its head and make it turn into a strength. And with Scott Hamilton, he didn't want to work on figures, but he said that once he made figures a game, then he could start seeing levels of improvement. And when he saw levels of improvement, he saw more motivation in himself to continue after it and continue working on the thing that he didn't want to work on, that was his weakness. So don't think that you're stuck in your current weakness, that you're stuck in whatever it is that's holding you back. If you take personal responsibility to focus on minimizing that weakness, then it might just become one of your strengths. So again, guys, my 3 takeaways. Number 1 is it's about how you deal with it. Because we're all going to have those self-limiting beliefs, those self-doubt. It's not about eliminating it. It's about finding a way to deal with it and to persist through it, because success is right on the other side of it. Number 2, saying it doesn't make it true. Just because you're trying to cut out something in your life, or just because you're trying to implement a new habit, just saying it isn't going to make it happen. Be diligent and intentional about creating actionable steps to making that thing actually come true. Number 3 is your weaknesses don't have to be permanent. If you take the time to diligently identify a particular weakness that is holding you back, and you hone in on work in the most careful and smart manner that you can, that might just become your strength. I hope you guys really enjoyed the Mitch Gaylord's episode. If you haven't watched it yet, go ahead and watch it, guys. So many great stories and experiences that he opened up with, and so many tools that he talked about that helped him overcome those mental hurdles, because I know I have mental hurdles that I have to overcome every single day, and I know a lot of you guys do as well. And if you know somebody who is going through some mental challenges right now, send them this episode. This might just be the thing to get them over the hurdle and get them over the hump. So be someone's hero today and send them this episode. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.